I'm the Equity Officer for the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, Association for Bay Area Governments in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area. Speaking of the spirit of detours, when I initially put together this PowerPoint presentation, I had in mind the audience that I usually speak with, transportation engineers and planners. And after listening to everyone this morning and about creating that space for vulnerabilities, I'm going to change that PowerPoint presentation as we speak, because I was going to talk about transportation improvements, rail, buses, bus rides. I'm going to talk about more about emotional connection. So because this is the environment and space to do that, and that's really very different for me. So with your permission, is that okay if I do that? Okay. Okay. So next slide, please.
Although you have to.
So I'll talk a little bit about my role today. The orientation of San Francisco Bay Area, a little bit briefly about the Metropolitan Transportation Commission's equity approach, how I got here to the position, the blessings of the detours and takeaways and gratitude. So, as you all may know, the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Area has 9 counties, 101 cities, 7.8 million residents, with 4 million jobs. The agency that I work for is a Metropolitan Planning Organization that is responsible for all the transportation planning, finance, and coordination, as well as most recently housing. And for the Bay Area, that's 28 different transit agencies in the 9-county region. This is a little bit how we advance equity. For the region, we focus on more geographic equity, where we make our investments dependent on where individuals that earn low income live. And these are, in blue, are the areas where they're predominantly low income individuals. This is a little bit about some of the projects, a variety of mobility enhancements that we support and invest. And then, okay, we're gonna talk about the heart now. So that was all about the work-related stuff. So prior to the role that I have today, prior to that, I was on the working for-profit, providing consulting services and building infrastructure, like large and mega projects, like building the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge and bus rapid transit. So the focus was on climbing and getting to the executive level. So the shift happened when, who you see there is my father, Juanito Limlingan Santos. And so the shift happened when he and my mom shared that they wanted to move to the Philippines. And they had lived in the United States for about 40 years. And so, and my sister and I, my sister who's a year older, we looked at him because we're a very close family. And we're like, really? You want to go there? You want to leave us? And he said yes. He wanted to go home. So my sister and I, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. So my dad grew up in Bentiswell, Pampanga, and so my sister and I, we speak probably 5th grade level Pampanga. Tagalog, Tagalog, we can't really understand or speak. So we made it possible. We figured out the housing, healthcare access, went to Olongapo, found doctors, physicians, support, all that without hardly even knowing my cousins or my relatives there. And so when we went there, I felt like he was teaching us a lesson, my sister and I, to really get to know the culture and really to get to know our family, even though our family and our cousins were like strangers to us. And so we ended up visiting like every 3 months. And during that time, I really got to learn and love the community. My kids came with me, my husband, and I've never never seen my kids feel like they belonged. Usually, in the United States, we're attached to our phones and videos. There was nothing there. All they did was, they just, my kids, and what they did every day was they just went outside and just played. And with all the other kids, nothing else. And so I felt like he was teaching us to, focus on the important things, that small is beautiful. And so because of that, and learning, when my father passed, I shifted my career mindset, as well as my priorities and my values, and that now my focus is equity, particularly in my role, advancing policies and investments focused on women of color. And so I wanted to share that with you. Because I feel for the first time in a long time very safe with you all. And I have major imposter syndrome right now because I just feel a tremendous amount of gratitude, as well as learning and hearing and being inspired by you all. Some other takeaways that I had through the experience. On the upper right photo is a photo of my daughter, Sula, who is a competitive basketball player. She's 12 years old, and I have another daughter, 13, who's a competitive basketball player as well. That's what they did, like every day playing, just going out to the store and I don't know, getting a Sprite or something. And on the bottom is a picture of baccalaureate. So, oh, is it? I don't know. Okay, my phone said baccalaureate, but anyway. So, just feeling a sense of belonging like I do here, as well as the understanding my roots and where I came from. Because a lot of times in spaces, sometimes I feel like, am I Filipina enough? Because I was raised here, and my parents, I know I had experienced trauma, so I'm relearning what it means to be a Filipina American woman, and I'm also trying to teach my kids that as well, so that they have that comfort and that sense of belonging. So, and that's all I have.